This morning, we bring you the local events happening in communities near you.
And we still have some rain in the forecast. I'll have the full details coming up.
Plus, President Trump is set to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky following Friday's talk with Putin. Good Sunday morning. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Michelle Renee Quinn alongside
Jacob Madison. Yes, today is Sunday, August 17th, I believe. Yes. August 17th. You're watching Weekend Mornings. Had a lot of rainfall yesterday. Continued to have some last night as well.
Absolutely. And we got to try to stay dry out there. I know it's not going to be too bad. You want to tell us a little bit more? Yeah,
today we're going to get a little bit of a break from the rainfall. We aren't seeing much right now. You can see that outside as we have a live look of the Beltline. And we aren't completely done with the rainfall, but as I mentioned, a little bit of a break today. So taking a look at the current radar, we are seeing some showers off to the west near the Mississippi River, but again, most of our region not really experiencing that. So taking a look at the amount of rain we've seen the last 24 hours, plenty of areas saw a lot of it. We've seen around 1 to 2 inches of rain for a good chunk of the region, but some areas actually haven't seen much, if any, rainfall. There was a lot for Madison and areas just to the east and in far southwest Wisconsin as well. There is still flood watches in effect for parts of the area until 10 a.m. And again, the reason it's only until 10 a.m. is because a lot of today will feature fairly dry conditions. That rain off to the west kind of in a dissipating stage, and it's going to continue to dissipate for the next few hours. Although we will see cloudy skies, we're really not going to see much in terms of rain today, but we can't completely rule out an isolated shower. Now, taking a look at the temperatures right now, pretty comfortably in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Highs across the area will be in the upper 70s with mostly cloudy skies, but more sunny skies for areas to the east. And as we take a look at the temperature forecast throughout the day, we are going to be in the 70s pretty early, but then not rise too much further with those cloudy skies. A pretty similar forecast for you folks in La Crosse, although you folks in La Crosse are seeing a little bit more rain at this time. Now, I'll talk more in detail about the storms for Monday, but after Monday, the forecast looks very good. All the details, though, will be coming up a bit later.
Jacob, thank you. A massive strike is underway across Israel right now to demand the government reach a deal with Hamas to release the remaining hostages. Organizers say hundreds of thousands of business owners and private citizens are expected to participate. 20 hostages out of the 50 that remain in Gaza are believed to be alive. You're taking a live look now at the White House, where topping our news this morning, President Trump is preparing for a high-stakes meeting tomorrow with Ukrainian President Zelensky. This following the Alaska summit between Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin Friday. Now, the Trump administration confirms the president gave Putin a letter written by the First Lady urging the Russian leader to sign a peace deal and raising concerns about the children of war. On social media, Zelensky is encouraging the U.S. to strengthen sanctions on Russia if Putin doesn't commit to a trilateral meeting. CBS News has learned that Zelensky has undergone coaching on how to interact with President Trump just to avoid another disastrous meeting. The Community Day for the Harry White House International Wood Sculpture Festival took place in Monona yesterday. The event featured live wood sculpting, ho-chunk cultural demonstrations, and traditional crafts. Our Ellie La Liberté shows us how the event celebrates art and culture.
This is the Community Day for the Harry Whitehorse International Wood Sculpting Festival. We're celebrating the heritage. I'm Ho-Chunk. Harry Whitehorse was Ho-Chunk. Most of the people that are involved in the indigenous side of the preparation for this just happen to be Ho-Chunk. We have food trucks, we have indigenous artists, and most importantly, we have our sculptors. And we have today 4 of them, or 3 or 4 of them, doing a demonstration.
As long as I'm alive, as long as I'm carving, I'm going to keep trying to do this. Harry was my mentor. It's an international cultural and community exchange, which again doesn't happen at the normal events that happen here.
And this was the area where Minnie White Wing and her family had their homestead. And this also happens to be an area that for, hundreds and thousands of years, Ho-Chunks would get together, kind of in this area where, I guess where I'm standing and behind me. It's a real privilege to share your culture and your experience, whether you're Indigenous or whether you're German or Norwegian or whatever the case may be. We just happen to have a lot of really talented Indigenous artists here from the Little Eagle Arts Foundation.
The event yesterday is also in an effort to build momentum towards a 9-day festival returning in 2026. For more information, you can go to harrywhitehorse.com. Still ahead, we are letting you know what's happening in areas near you. Sun Prairie, Madison, La Crosse, all of that coming up on weekend mornings.
And I'll be back with a full look of your forecast. Still going to see some storms. Don't go anywhere. We're back after this.
Happening today, Feller School is hosting a fundraiser to help pay for their continued services to local children with reading challenges. The school is the first nonprofit private school in Wisconsin specifically for kids from kindergarten to 5th grade with dyslexia. From 12:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Lake Louis Brewing Co. in Verona, there'll be fun and games, including a gift basket raffle. Grilled brats will be up for sale, as well as locally brewed beer. There'll also be live music by the Ron Denson Band. In Wisconsin, 69% of 4th graders are reading below their grade level, a decline from earlier numbers. And one of the best food festivals in the Midwest is on its last day. The 72nd annual Sweet Corn Festival is happening now in Sun Prairie. The Sun Prairie Chamber of Commerce puts this on with several nonprofit organizations sharing in the proceeds. You can find boutiques, the kids' corners, and all different kinds of corn served steamed, raw, whatever you want. And the carnival will also be open until 8 p.m. tonight. Also happening today is the Food Taste Jamboree, showcasing Madison's Black restaurant flavors. The event was previously set to kick off Madison Black Restaurant Week, but has been rescheduled for today. From 2 to 6 p.m., Madison area Black-owned restaurants, and food vendors will be showcasing some of their menu for just $5 a taste at the Madison Labor Temple. So we need to check and see how our day is going to look. If you want to head out to any of these events, we need to know what that bottom line is, and Jacob Montesano has that. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle, Renee. Good news today, not going to see much in the rainfall department. We will see cloudy skies and can't completely rule out some showers, but overall it should be pretty dry. But we are going to see more showers and storms for Monday before we really dry up starting Tuesday and continuing for really the entire 10-day forecast at this point in time. Now, looking at the current radar, those showers to the west continue to dissipate, and that's a really big sign for what's going to happen the rest of the day. Any showers and storms that move in will likely dissipate, but that's not going to be the case for tomorrow, where we are going to have another isolated chance of severe weather, but we don't have an alert day in the forecast simply because the tornado risk and also the hail risk is very, very low, if not outright zero, and just a small chance of some strong winds, but we'll continue to see some heavy rain, which could lead to some of that flooding concern. Now, as we take a look at the forecast again today, really everything that moves in will dissipate very quickly. Still can't rule out an isolated shower or storm. Once we get to the evening, we have a little bit of a better chance of some storms, especially in southwest Wisconsin. But then later in the night, we'll see some showers and storms move into our area from the northwest, bringing in some heavy rain that will continue into Monday morning. And as I mentioned, we do have that isolated chance of some strong storms. But as we get into Monday afternoon, we're going to dry up, at least briefly, before we see more showers and storms move back into the area for Monday evening, continuing into early Monday night, but then mostly clearing out by the time we get to Tuesday morning. And once we do see that rain clear out, we're not going to see much for the rest of the week. Very low rain chances from Tuesday afternoon through next weekend, and that will continue into early next week. Temperatures today will be in the middle to upper 70s. More sunshine is expected the further east and northeast you're located, with lower 70s in the forecast for you folks. A little bit warmer tomorrow, lower 80s with the chance of those showers and thunderstorms. And then temperatures going to fluctuate from the upper 70s to lower 80s for the rest of this week. And then next week, we're going to see highs in the lower 70s. So it's really going to feel a lot cooler then and going to feel very fall-like at that point in time. And it's really the first time this year that I've seen really any suggestion that fall is right around the corner. You know, we've had a few days, you know, drop a little bit and seeing highs in the middle 70s, but early next week, it looks like we'll see consistent highs in the lower 70s. And Michelle, Renee, you were saying earlier about how Savannah calls it the September scaries. The reason I was confused is because I didn't realize she was more of a summer person. See, I'm much more of a fall and cooler temperature person, so I call it the September teases because it kind of teases you to those cooler temperatures, but we'll probably eventually see at least the 80s, if not maybe even 90s return at some point before we're officially done with them. I do remember 2 years ago, Labor Day was very, very hot. So, and that's not including the 10-day forecast yet. So it is going to be very, very nice. And, it's hard to complain, but just be aware we're probably not quite done with those very warm temperatures, at least somewhere down the road.
All right. Well, thank you, Jacob. I'm not really looking forward to those 90s again. So
let's hope that doesn't happen.
Let's just hold off a little bit, just a little bit.
Positive vibes.
Positive vibes only. Thanks, Jacob. Well, WISC-TV and Television Wisconsin have completed a major upgrade to their over-the-air broadcasting system with the installation of 2 new transmitters. So the improvements are designed to provide antenna viewers with a better signal. And because of this change, if you are an antenna user, you'll need to rescan your TV on Wednesday. That'll give you a stronger and clearer picture. Now, this process is fast and free. You just have to open your TV's menu, select settings, then channel scan or auto tune. In just a few minutes, the TV's channel list will be updated to match the new signal, and then this upgrade enhances our over-the-air reception for local viewers. And remember, you'll need to do this on Wednesday. For those step-by-step rescanning instructions, you can visit channel3000.com/rescan. Still ahead this morning, we're celebrating you, one of our local viewers. Plus, Jacob will be back with a look at your temperatures. Stick with us. You are watching Weekend Mornings.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. There are new guidelines for people at risk of high blood pressure. The American Heart Association recommends limiting salt intake, consuming no more than 2 alcoholic beverages a day for men or 1 drink a day for women, losing 5% of your body weight if you're overweight, and managing stress with meditation, breathing exercises, and yoga. High blood pressure affects nearly half of all adults in the U.S., and it's the nation's leading cause of death. The American Heart Association and the American College of Cardiology are updating their blood pressure guidelines for the first time since 2017, and that includes a heightened focus on alcohol. And those guidelines used to say the drinks were lower. Now it's less than 1 for women and less than 2 for men. The chair of the guidelines writing committee says the goal should be total sobriety. And that's due to the negative impacts on blood pressure from alcohol. Now it's 7:21. Let's check in with Jacob Montesano.
Thanks, Michelle, Renee. Over the last 2 weeks, we've had some above normal temperatures, but overall not too far off from the norm. However, for the next 2 weeks or over the next 10 days, we're going to have temperatures once again not too far off from the norm, but this time they're going to be a little bit below normal. I've been talking a lot about those temperatures early next week, really the first sign of kind of fall being around the corner with those lower 70s. But even most of this week will feature temperatures not too bad at all. Might get a little warm for tomorrow, but the upper 70s and low 80s for highs. These will also feature lower humidity values as we'll see plenty of sunshine and very dry conditions. And as we look beyond just the next 10 days, the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook does suggest cooler than average temperatures for our region, which would suggest those lower 70s may continue for a little bit beyond just the early portion of next week, maybe for a lot of next week as well.
Thank you, Jacob. Now, before we head to break, we are celebrating a special couple this morning. Bob and Rosie Farrell. Now, you can see these two have been in love for many years. Tomorrow, they'll celebrate their 74th wedding anniversary. Bob is 97 and Rosie is 94. The Pine Bluff couple raised their 9 kids together. They have 24 grandkids and 31 great-grandbabies. So congratulations on your love and happy anniversary from your weekend morning team.
Talk about a family right there. 31 great grandkids. That's impressive. Good for them.
It is impressive. You know what? I know you just celebrated your 1-year wedding anniversary as well. How about 74?
Yeah,
you think you can make it?
I'd be 100, so I gotta take care of myself.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You stay a little healthy, and maybe your life expectancy will.
99 actually. Sorry,
99.
but yeah,
All
still
right.
gotta take care of myself, and we'll get there. Maybe we'll get there eventually.
Maybe one day. Maybe almost. Maybe we can do 60.
Yeah.
Well, I did choose a special playlist pick today for this lovely couple. Check it out.
The moment that you speak, I wanna go play hide and seek. I wanna go and bounce the moon just like a toy balloon.
You make me feel so young.
Frank Sinatra's got such a good voice. I love
You
it.
make me feel so spring has been sprung.
Isn't that from a Christmas movie?
It's from a Christmas movie. It's from a lot of movies.
I
You're
just feel like-
listening to the
Sorry,
You
go
Make Me
ahead.
Feel So Young
Yeah.
by Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, it was sorry. When I listened to that, I just thought of Christmas for some reason. That's why I was asking that. But yeah, I love that. I love that song for sure.
Absolutely. One more happy anniversary to the Farrells. I hope you guys are feeling young and in love. Be sure to send your weekend playlist picks to me to share with our viewers. You can do that through email at mrquinn@wisctv.com and add playlist pick to the subject line. Tune in on weekend mornings to hear your song and keep it here because we'll be right back after this. Right now, President Trump is set to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky following Friday's talk with Putin.
And we have more rain in the forecast of your full Sunday forecast and for the upcoming week coming up.
Well, happy Sunday, and thank you so much for waking up with us this morning. I'm Michelle Renee Quinn, your weekend morning anchor.
And I'm meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Today is Sunday, August 17th. You're watching Weekend Mornings. How you doing this morning, Michelle Renee?
I am having a very wonderful morning. I do love coming in with my partner and giving the news to you folks at home. And we are starting today with some morning motivation. This quote I actually saw last night when I was watching Criminal Minds. Gideon said, "It's by Rose Kennedy."
And it's perfect considering the weather we're expecting and kind of what we'll see. It says, birds sing after a storm. Why shouldn't people feel as free to delight in whatever sunlight remains to them?
And why shouldn't we?
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing those birds sing maybe today because we had the storms last night, but also a little bit later in the week when we really dry up.
And we hope you birdies at home have a reason to sing, find that joy, whatever it is. Even though there's a little rain, there's always that rainbow.
I like the rain, but obviously I want everyone to be safe. Thankfully, there wasn't any, big reports of any flooding or severe thunderstorm damage. And today, if there was, obviously there probably were at least there's some minor inconveniences, and today will be kind of a break from that rain, so that is the good news. Now, looking at the current radar, not really seeing much across southern Wisconsin. There are more showers and a few storms further west in portions of Iowa and Minnesota. But as we talked about, a lot of rainfall over the last 24 hours. Thankfully, those areas near Milwaukee that saw that severe flooding didn't really see much from yesterday, but Madison and surrounding areas saw about an inch of rain, a little bit more for some areas, and southwest Wisconsin also saw a lot of rainfall from this. Now, we still have flood watch in effect until 10 a.m., but I don't expect to see any additional rain from now until then, and for much of the day, we're really not going to see much in terms of rainfall. That rain further west is really going to dissipate, and although we'll see cloudy skies with maybe an isolated shower here or there, don't expect to see much. Temperatures will also be very comfortable, upper 60s to low 70s right now. Highs will be in the upper 70 to maybe middle 70 range for areas to the west and the areas to the east, And areas to the east will also see a little bit more sunshine. So overall, it's going to be a pretty good day. Now, we're not going to see a lot of sunshine, but comfortable temperatures, very low chance of rainfall. But unfortunately, we are going to see that heavy rain return later tonight. and that's going to continue for Monday. But after Monday, it's looking very, very good. So I'll have a full forecast for your upcoming work week coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. We'll check back in shortly. And with that rain and the flood watch ending at 10, here are a few tips when it comes to flooding. Aside from having flood insurance to protect your property and belongings, you can prepare a disaster supplies kit. During a flood, do not drive around a barricade because barricades are there for your protection. When there is potential for flooding, listen to the radio or television for information. You can always stay up to date with our weather app. And after a flood, report broken utility lines to the proper authorities. And that rain was absolutely no match for Madison yesterday. Africa Fest is celebrating 35 years in Madison. Yesterday's rain interrupted their big celebration, but it did not stop people from showing up and showing out. Africa Fest featured live performances, vendors, and a fashion show. Organizers say it's a way to show the culture of the African community to the greater Madison community. Since 1998, the fest has continued to grow, and while the rain may be seen as a downside, some say it was a silver lining.
It was a good sign of the ancestors clearing the path so we could have the rest of the beautiful afternoon. So it's like a libation kind of thing to me, so I'm enjoying the rain.
Attendees say the best part of the festival is everyone coming together like family to enjoy themselves. You're taking a live look now at the White House, where topping our news this morning, President Trump is preparing for a high-stakes meeting Monday with Ukrainian President Zelensky. As CBS's Christian Benavides reports, Zelensky is looking to avoid a repeat of that infamous February meeting he had with Trump in the Oval Office.
At the White House, President Trump is preparing for an Oval Office meeting tomorrow with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky following the Alaska summit between Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin Friday, which ended early, and with the two leaders making remarks without taking any questions.
There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite got there.
Zelensky on social media encouraged the U.S. to strengthen sanctions on Russia if Putin doesn't commit to a trilateral meeting. On Saturday, the administration confirmed a letter written by the First Lady that the president gave to Putin, in which she urges the Russian leader to sign a peace deal and raised concerns about the children of war. In protecting the innocence of these children, you serve humanity itself, she wrote. Notably, Russia has been accused of kidnapping Ukrainian children and forcing them to live with Russian families.
To President Zelensky, I think.
In a Fox News interview, President Trump said a peace deal was now in Zelensky's hands.
Now it's really up to President Zelensky to get it done.
Sam Vinograd is a CBS News national security contributor.
And there are certainly concerns that heading into the Oval Office meeting between Trump and Zelensky on Monday, that Trump will try to bully President Zelensky into accepting the contours of the deal that he hammered out with President Putin.
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
No doubt Zelensky is hoping to avoid the dressing down he received last time he was in the Oval.
Have you said thank you once?
Christian Benavides, CBS News.
What do you think?
CBS News has learned that Zelensky has undergone coaching on how to interact with President Trump to avoid another disastrous meeting. In more national news, thousands hit the streets in Texas to protest a GOP plan to redraw Texas congressional maps, adding 5 Republican seats to the U.S. House. The controversial move is speaking talk in other states, including California, about possible redistricting changes.
Our message is that when our rights are under attack, we have to stand up and fight back.
They called these Fight the Trump Takeover rallies in several cities across the country, from Dallas to Austin to L.A. They protested plans by Texas at the request of President Trump to redraw its congressional maps. Protesters object to the plan that could give Republicans 5 more seats in Congress ahead of next year's midterm elections. Now that California Governor Gavin Newsom said voters there will decide on a redistricting measure that could counter the Texas GOP gains, Democrats who had left the state to prevent a vote have said they will return.
Texans stay and fight. In this case, you have a bunch of cowards who cut and run.
We have got to recognize the cards that have been dealt, and we have got to meet fire with fire.
It's not exactly clear when all Texas Democrats will return to the state, but as long as there are 100 lawmakers available for a vote, which is required in the Texas House, the bill is expected to pass. In more local news this morning, Metro Transit is now in Verona. Starting today, new route D2 will provide all-day bus services that run every 30 minutes on weekdays and every 60 minutes on nights and weekends. Paratransit services are also available. It connects riders to the Ice Age National Scenic Trail, Verona Park Ride, and Verona Area High School. You can pay virtually or by credit card or pick up a pass at Verona City Hall. And if Doty Street is on your morning commute, you might want to leave the house a little early tomorrow. East Doty Street will be down to one travel lane as road paving repairs are set to begin at 7 o'clock in the morning. Metro buses will stop at West Doty prior to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Access to South Pinckney Street via East Doty Street may be temporarily blocked during part of those paving operations if it's active in that intersection. Vehicles should detour via King Street to East Wilson Street. And if you live in the Novo apartments, your driveway will always be maintained throughout that paving as it is directly blocked. Still ahead on Weekend Mornings, our Kyrian Lee joins us with this morning's health conversation talking about life expectancy, how you can make those extra years truly count. But first, a look at your winning Powerball numbers. Keep it here.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. It seems like our wet weekend might be coming to an end, but we've had a lot of rainfall these past couple of weeks. So, Jacob, let's check in on that. What are we looking at?
Well, so far this August, we've had exactly 4 inches of rain, at least for Madison. The average just over 2. Now, some areas near Milwaukee saw more than 4 inches on that one night alone last weekend. And you're right. For the weekend, we are kind of done. Still could see some light rain, but then as we get into Monday to start the work week, we are going to see more showers and storms, bringing in possibly another inch, if not maybe a little bit more of rainfall still to come. But this is starting Tuesday and continuing forward. There is going to be very, very little chance of rain for the rest of the week after we see that rain clear out Monday night. So there's going to be a lot of dry days in the forecast, and we absolutely can afford this dry period. Obviously, if we have a prolonged dry period, we would see drought conditions form, but not after the rain we've seen lately. Now, I'll talk more in detail about those storms tomorrow, but there is a lot of very, very nice days in the forecast to come.
Thank you. The CDC reports the average life expectancy in the United States is 78.4 years. As life expectancy continues to climb, how can we make the most out of those extra years? How can we make them truly count? Our Kyrian Lee joins us for this morning's health conversation with Dr. Rupa Shah.
Today we are sitting down with SSM Health family medicine physician and wellness coach Dr. Rupa Shah to explore the strategies behind healthy aging. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get right into it. What does healthy aging really mean, and why is it so important to start early?
Yeah. So as the population is getting older, really the focus now is not just on living longer, but on living better. We want to live these older years of our lives with just as much vitality and energy as we had when we were younger, and we know it's possible. It's definitely possible if we start early with the foundations: good nutrition, good sleep, movement, and social connections. All of these things really matter, and the sooner we institute some of these, we know that we can live even better in our older years.
Okay, so it starts all right now. If you haven't started it starts now. So what are some practical steps people can take in midlife to age more gracefully?
Yeah, so it's some of the basics you would think about. So nutrition, you want to eat a healthy, well-balanced meal, lots of fruits, vegetables, antioxidants. You want to limit those processed foods, which again lead to more inflammation in the body. Movement, That's always key, right? You want to get aerobic exercise, 20 minutes at least 3 to 5 times a week if you can. But in addition to that, you want to add strength training. Keeping our muscle strength up as we age is super important, and it's really key to longevity. So that's super important. The other thing, trying new things, mentally challenging yourself is going to keep that mental acuity, that sharpness about you. So trying new activities, but also being socially engaged with other people. We know that having a community of people that you communicate, feel like you have that community, that really also helps with overall longevity and living better.
So doing all those things to keep you sharp.
Yes.
Well, how can a family physician support patients in aging well? I didn't think, you probably don't think that your physician can help you in this.
They really can. If you have questions about that, family physicians, we're really trained in preventative and sort of lifestyle medicine, as we like to call it. So we don't like to just treat diseases. We really want to help you in preventing things as they come up. So if you're struggling with things, if you need some tips or advice, talk to your physician. We are well versed in these types of topics and concerns, and we can really help guide you in ways that might help you as you age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all good things to know. Dr. Shaw, we want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Ladies, thank you. Time now, 7:44. Still ahead, Madison women's soccer is making official moves. What's new for them? That's coming up in your morning sports. Plus, Jacob brings you the final forecast when we come back. You're watching Weekend Mornings. Keep it here.
Welcome back. Here's a final look at the 3 things you need to know. Not much rain today, but we are going to see more of those showers and thunderstorms for Monday with very nice conditions starting Tuesday, and that will continue through the extended forecast. Now, looking at the current radar, not seeing much across southern Wisconsin, and in general, we're not going to see much across southern Wisconsin today, but we will see more of those thunderstorms developing later tonight and for Monday with an isolated risk of severe weather for much of the area. But we don't have an alert day in the forecast today because we're not going to see quite as much as we saw yesterday, and the tornado risk tomorrow is very low, but we still could see some flooding concerns and a minor concern of some strong winds. Now, as we take a look at the forecast, again, not much rain today, but we will see cloudy skies, so can't completely rule out an isolated shower. Could see some isolated storms in far southwest Wisconsin in the evening, but once we get to the overnight hours, then we'll see a better chance of rain as we'll see some showers and storms moving to our area from the northwest, impacting La Crosse and surrounding areas much earlier, likely before sunrise. And then the scattered showers and thunderstorms will impact southern Wisconsin during Monday morning with a little bit of a break from the rainfall Monday afternoon. But then we're expecting another chance of showers and thunderstorms for the evening. And this round of storms is expected to continue into the early overnight hours Monday, but mostly clearing out by the time we get to Tuesday morning. And once that rain does completely clear out, we're going to see basically no more rainfall for the rest of the week. And we also will see very sunny conditions with comfortable temperatures. So taking a look at those temperatures, upper 70s for today with the cloudy skies, a little bit more sunshine further east. It will also warm up a little bit for Monday, highs in the lower 80s with that storm chance, as I mentioned. But then after Monday, we're going to see lower 80 or near 80 to upper 70s. For the rest of the week. And then early next week, we're going to see even cooler temperatures with highs only in the lower 70s. And that may continue at least for a few more days, which is kind of the first sign of some cooler temperatures and the first sign that fall is kind of around the corner. So overall, very, very nice conditions are in the forecast Tuesday going forward. Still got one more chance of rainfall, and we still could see some minor flooding across the area with that heavy rain chance.
New this morning, Madison's women's soccer team will finally take the field next year. It puts an end to a 3-year wait after the team was initially announced. Forward FC Chief Operating Officer and partner Connor Kaloya says, quote, "This day is long overdue in Madison. Our ownership group is excited to be bringing women's soccer to this great women's sports city. As the dad of a girl playing soccer, we take pride in the fact that we will be creating a step in the pathway to becoming a professional soccer player in Madison. Play will begin next May in the USLW League."
Now let's talk some Brew Crew. They've been on a tear this summer, winning 13 straight games and looking to get their 14th straight against the Reds. We head to the top of the ninth. Sal Frelick grounds into a potentially game-ending double play, but Ellie De La Cruz's throw to first is off the mark. Bryce Terang scores, game tied 2-2. That would send us to extras. Top of the 11th now. Andrew Monasterio smashes a 3-run homer to left off Joe LaSorsa. Brewers go up 6-3, and that's all they would need to hold on to the lead. Crew win a franchise record 14th straight game, extending their division lead by 9 games. 6-5 is the final in this one.
And 5 former Wisconsin women's basketball players are filing a lawsuit against former coach Marissa Mosley over an accusation of psychological abuse. Mosley became coach of the UW-Madison's women's team in 2021. Within her first 3 years, at least 11 players either left the program or transferred to another school. Some of them cite alleged mistreatment by Mosley as part of why they left. Mosley left after last season, citing personal issues, and has since been replaced. News 3 Now has reached out to the university for comment. And we are quickly approaching that start of the school year and student athletes returning to the field. So ahead of that, WIAA, the organization that governs high school sports in Wisconsin, is working on a new program. The executive director of the organization sat down with our political reporter, Will Keneally. The WIAA has created a new foundation. Think of it like a statewide boosters club to help fill some of the gaps in prep sports around the state. They're tackling a couple of different areas with that, including helping develop more refs and officials, but also taking a look at ways to minimize risks for student athletes.
Equipment shortages, maybe a school really has been wanting to purchase new equipment for one of their teams and hasn't been able to as of late, and their equipment's getting outdated. So those would be kind of some of those areas that would fall into the risk minimization.
Hauser says this includes some updates to facilities as well. You can catch the full interview plus a one-on-one sit-down with the first major Democratic candidate to office to announce their run for governor, and a check-in on the police situation in Washington. That's all coming up on For the Record today at 10:30. We'll be right back.
You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Welcome back. The Chicago Air and Water Show is the largest free show of its kind in the United States, and it's happening today. Take a look at this video. Presented by the City of Chicago, the show can be viewed along the lakefront from Fullerton to Oak Street. North Avenue Beach is the focal point, and let's see what one viewer who attended yesterday has to say.
I like when they do spirals and then they do free fall.
How cute is he? I think I could use a free fall, but only with a guaranteed life after. It just looks very thrilling with that rush. Have you ever been to one of these?
I went to the one in Milwaukee, and it was really cool just how close they were flying together and making no mistakes. Very, very impressive. Insane.
And it's the only word for it. Well, thank you for watching Weekend Mornings. Coming up next is CBS Sunday Morning, followed by Face the Nation at 10:30. And For the Record, our next newscast is coming up at 5:30 p.m. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.